we still are at about a 7 to 10% daily utilization rate of AI by an individual. That's so low. We don't have a grasp of it to where we are grabbing this and immediately going into AI and asking it in anything.
Welcome to the Making Sales Social podcast, featuring the top voices in sales, marketing, and business. Join Brynne Tillman and me, Bob Woods, as we each bring you the best tips and strategies our guests are teaching their clients, so you can leverage them for your own virtual and social selling. This episode of the Making Sales Social podcast is brought to you by Social Sales Link, the company that helps you start more trust-based conversations without being salesy through the power of LinkedIn and AI. Start your journey for free by joining our resource library at socialsaleslink.com/library. Welcome to the show.
Welcome back to Making Sales Social. I'm really excited to introduce you to my guest today, Nico Nathan. He was actually introduced to me by our friend Gunnar Hood, who said, "You've got to meet this guy." And he was right. Nico is an AI expert and futurist. He's also the founder of Quid AI, whose mission really is to shape the future of AI by empowering businesses and individuals with tools and knowledge needed to harness the full potential of artificial intelligence, driving a new era of innovation, efficiency, and growth. Nico, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. That was a great intro. Thank you so much.
Oh, I took it right off of your LinkedIn. So you wrote a great intro for me. Thank you so much.
I had help. I had AI help. Absolutely.
Well, AI did a very good job. So that's great. And I'm thrilled to have you here. Before we jump into your magic AI superpowers, we ask all of our guests one question, which is, what does making sales social mean to you?
Oh, I think it's the human-centric part of it. Keeping that doesn't change whether we're selling chocolates out of a box in 1940 or if we're selling AI services to somebody. So that's the real essence of it, is that it's about the human-centric approach, being able to connect with a value, a product, or a service at that communicates value from the receiver to the person selling it too.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. And it is all relationships, even with AI. So I'm excited to talk about that. So, I wanted just to start with, how is AI going to shape the future of communication in general? And then if you want to get down to specifics, I'm all ears.
That's a great question. Communication, being a human-centric and keeping that the focus, then it revolves around how we talk, how we communicate, not just with each other, but now it's how we communicate with a computer, per se. And that's the easiest way to understand it. And before, we had to communicate with computers through zeros and ones. That's how it's been since the 1960s. Right. But now, instead of us trying to figure out how to program or speak the computer's language, we've enabled the computer to be able to speak our language and figure out what we mean. And that's the communication part of this that is a general difference. We have a third party now. And we should be running things like that in our communication arc. It's no longer linear. It's that arc effect because of AI. And I think that's what we're going to see through the fourth industrial revolution that we're in right now, is that this will continue. We'll continue seeing this arc effect in all of our communications.
So, we're using it every single day. In some ways, I feel like it's making me a little bit lazy, because all of that personalization that I have put into emails and messaging and communication has now become AI. However, it's so efficient. And I'm looking at it as the 80-20 rule, 80% AI, 20% me. when I'm putting together content, emails, drip campaigns, all of that fun stuff. So what are some of the I guess tips or techniques that you share with your clients to help them take AI, but also personalize and customize it?
Uh, Personalization comes, one of the things you mentioned is you feel like it made you feel lazy. And I would say you're one of the few people taking advantage of it. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and we still are at about a 7 to 10% daily utilization rate of AI by an individual. That's so low. We don't have a grasp of it to where we are grabbing this and immediately going into AI and asking it in anything. So that low number of use, don't feel lazy. You're just an early adopter, and that's the change effect that we're all going to feel. I believe is wow, we're going to be blown away by that adaptability and that efficiency because we haven't had that. It's a typewriter to a computer. It was so much easier.
Right.
Word processors we went through in 2 years because of how we zoomed through that technology. So we're at a point here where I think that the efficiency of it is really going to be a key point. And that's going to be the thing that makes us feel different about it. So focusing on that communication with it is, if you're going to involve it in your daily life, I think you need to talk to it just like your best personal assistant that maybe is getting the instructions for the first time. And then be as clear, almost like a 5-year-old, but it doesn't have to be at the 5-year-old level. You can give it complex ideas, but lay out exactly what you want. I want a number in the top left, not just number the slide or something of that nature. And it has the capability, especially ChatGPT 4.0 and the new Claude 3.5 Sonnet right now, the two latest editions. They both have incredible reasoning to be able to handle that. So I think being clear in your intentions, give it this is what I'm giving you, this is what I expect back, setting expectations, all things you have in good crystal communication with others in general and with humans, you need to have when you make these prompts or when you ask AI for something.
So I like that. So that leads me into, do you have any specific formula to help people in creating prompts?
There's lots of formulas out there. And I used to support one over another, but I really think, and I've changed probably over the past 4 to 5 months about that. It's be very generic, but talk to it, just like I said. Don't try to give it this is the problem I'm having, and this is the resolution that I'm seeking, and this is how I want it to look. And if you don't know how you want it to look, like, do I need it in a flow chart? Actually ask it. And you suggest which type of chart would make this look best. If you just kind of lay it out very simply the first time, it has the ability to, that's how it analyzes our language. And so it understands that the best. So if you can learn, and you will learn this over the more you use AI, the more you will understand, ooh, when I said it this way, I got a great response. And you'll tend to adapt your own talking with your AI, especially with the memory features right now, where there's not a lot of memory on there, which is really weird. But getting memory features, yeah, it's starting. And so with it to be able to remember that I'm talking about this client or this person or this project, that is another efficiency change that we haven't seen yet.
How about the ability to customize your instructions, right? So at least I'm using ChatGPT, and even in the free version, you can create how you want chat to respond. What I like, and I'll share, I have prohibitions in my instructions. do not use emojis, do not use the word delve, do not use in today's ... right? So, although it doesn't always listen to that one. But generally, but it also has a lot of, like, we have 21 tenets of social selling. So I've added them into the instructions so that everything aligns with that. And how do you feel that's working, number one? And number two, how would you get someone to start on developing?
That's great. It's kind of like having your own persona. There are some things you definitely see a lot when you're playing with it. You're a power user, like I said. So you're seeing delve and dwindling and certain
Right.
words pop up. There's 13 words we've got on the list that we've banned. I think the prohibitions are probably the best thing to do as you are developing what type of character you want and what level of professionalism versus realism and style that you want in your flow and what it remembers about you. So I think using the custom instructions at the beginning is probably better filled with prohibitions. Like you said, do not do this, never do this. Mine has a considerable amount of those. Now, I have a lot of other programs that I use that we won't get into, but they have personas that I've developed on them. And I did the exact same thing, basically. You feed it everything you want, how I want to talk, my tonalities and everything. But there's still a huge section of never start this way, always close this way. And that's the other thing, always is as well. There may be certain things you always want done because of your brand or because of a slogan, part of your wording, or you may want something like that to be included too. So don't forget that.
I love that. So you mentioned 4.0. Now I'm still paying for 4. Which one do you recommend? Is it 4, or because 4.0 is free, right?
Yeah, they gave 4.0 to everybody. Yeah. I'm finding the reasoning of 4.0 personally to be much better, the analyzing ability of 4.0 to be much
Me
better,
too.
even though 4 is supposed to be for the more complex tasks. What I'm also finding is that the GPTs that you create are still blocked and only running on 4. So you're not getting the 4.0 reasoning, even if you have GPTs, unless you're using the API, I believe. But most people are just creating a GPT.
Right.
And so if you are doing that, they're still powerful, but they're considerably different. We ran a test yesterday, and 4 failed in the GPT over multiple times of us trying to do something simple. And 4.0 did it repeatedly in about 5 minutes for multiple files. So big difference. Now, Claude 3.5, Anthropic's new Sonnet, the computational value is there, but I'm still getting long-winded results. Part of that comes from lack of memory, I believe. It's trying to pull. It's learning still. So it depends on what you're doing. The coding things, most of us aren't accessing or needing the ability to do those types of things. It's more like you said, the customization. How do I talk to people? And automations, that's kind of where the next thing that we ought to be utilizing.
So I'll just throw in, because, so first of all, for folks that don't know, GPTs are literally prompts that are kind of behind a secret wall where no one can actually see what was written in that prompt, but they get the benefit of using that prompt. So that's typically what a GPT is. And one of the things is we're creating GPTs, by the way, is we actually have almost every single time we have one consistent position, which is I'm going to have you ask me these 10 questions, these 3 questions, these 5 questions, one at a time. Once I've answered that question, ask me the next question. Once I've finished all of those answers, now do this. And so the GPT now is asking, instead of having a list of answer these questions, it's asking one at a time. And that has been very successful in helping people start to use those GPTs in an effective way. What do you think about that?
I have found the GPTs from the earliest time to be a way of just, oh, this is a thought pattern, a thought plane I want to pursue. So since I'm creating something for one of my clients, I'm going to create it for my client as a repeatable chat GPT and go in and tweak it and being able to see what it's doing and have a more one-on-one conversation with AI about the process that I'm doing. So I think you should have an idea, go make a custom GPT of it, and because that becomes more than a thread. And that's where you're actually getting to understand, wow, when I say this, it affects it differently. And you'll instantly just osmosisly take that back to your daily prompting that you're using. I've been using since ChatGPT 2 myself with access. And
That's when I started.
2.5 years now.
Yeah.
I am a much better writer in general because I've been taught by the ChatGPT models, even as back then, how to write better emails. And that just has been because of just using ChatGPT. So because we're being looked over the shoulder saying, hey, here's a better way, here's an idealer way, or here's a consensus way, depending upon what the LLM is trained on at the time. So don't forget that. You can also have your own LLM and be able to train it the way you want for your business or your industry or your services.
Yeah, interesting. So we use, it's a freemium tool called getmagical.com or magical.com, which is a short code program designed to do many, many things. But one of the things that it can do is you can write prompts that with a short code, you could bring it up in any, it's a browser. So Claude, it wouldn't work in an app on your computer, but in the browser. Is there any tool that you recommend that helps people to kind of create prompts and then have them at the click of a button, kind of almost their own GPTs?
I used to try to find, oh, this is a great prompt builder. I used to create prompt fields to kind of prompt generate something. This is the question. You're going to be a expert at this, and this is what I want you to do, and emulate this person and this person. And those are still very effective. I would say those are even probably more effective now. People have gotten away from them because it was prompt engineers are going to make $300,000 a year, and things like that. And that still may happen. We just don't know where that's going. I would say don't even rely on a third party. For instance, I would say go into the chat or the Anthropic or whatever AI you're using and say, give me a better prompt for this : because it's a robot.
So once you have that, so Magical doesn't create the prompt, it stores your prompt so that at a click of a button, you can pull it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
For storage. Yeah.
It's for storage and retrieval.
Yeah. I don't use that personally because I keep them in files on each platform that we use.
Take a look at it. Getmagical.com.
I'm wrote it down.
Blow your mind. It's awesome. Here's the other thing as we move into corporate, and it will be so first of all, it is an amazing program that is funded by Greylock, which is Reid Hoffman, who founded LinkedIn's venture capital. So we know it's got money and power behind it. But what's really great, I think, about this is it's coming now where let's say it's for sales. So sales is using all these GPTs and they hire you as a consultant, Nico, and they're saying, okay, Nico, come in and write GPTs for these 10 things for us. And they pay you X dollars to create that. They can now actually take your prompts, stick them in one button, send them to everyone on their team, and have it add to their dashboard.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
as a consultant, I would say check it out. It might
I
actually,
pulled it up.
yeah.
Yes. So
So I love, so yeah, even though this is all about your expertise, I'm glad I could help a little.
no, this is a sharing, and that's the thing. It's about sharing. I mean, communication is about sharing. I learned from my interactions with AI and the arcs that those bring us to people like you. So social selling, it's made me look in and watch some of your videos on that. So you learn for LinkedIn and all of that. So thank you so much.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that your insights are great. So, I just want to talk about, you have a guide on immersion, the next big shift in marketing. Talk about what inspired that and how people can access that if they would like.
Yes, my family's been involved in advertising agencies for over 35 years. My mother owned hers. My stepfather was an anchorman for a TV station group.
Oh,
And so I was around that a lot. And then we started our own advertising agency. And that kind of morphed into what Quit AI is, as we were utilizing technology so fast that we said, hey, we're more of a technology company than we are a marketing company for sure, and made that shift. With that experience, though, we started looking at integration of marketing. People don't know how to use AI yet and how to use it in their business. So the low hanging fruit is to take your marketing and find out how we can maximize efficiency and get you some of that digital responses and some ROI from that. But that wasn't deep enough because everyone's been doing that for the past 2 years, and cycles move much, much faster in sales today. And also in sales once they're ready to convert. But the problem is the longer cycle now is getting them to where they're actually interested, because there's so many other sources coming at them. So what we focus on is immersion, wanting to be where your people are and really having you double down on your niches. We say the riches are in the niches. We've said that forever. It applies no matter what level of your marketing that you're doing. But what we haven't done is double down on that. And so now we're saying, if you have a group that goes to this type of website space, you need to be commenting on that website space. You need to be visible or sponsor, or there's 3 or 4 different ways to be visible to your people there through retargeting, other types of things like that. But you need to be in those places. And that's the difference of immersion. It's a whole different concept of really thinking about, how am I going to be top of mind awareness with those people when they're getting so many things bombarding them. I need to be there behind the shadows, always a friendly friend. Hey, it's me again. Hey, you're over here too. Me too. We have commonalities. We share fundamental beliefs. All those types of things is where you need to have your messaging today. And that's what immersion is.
I love that. I think that's great. And is this a guide that people can download?
It absolutely is. I made a free guide. It's pretty comprehensive to kind of go over how you can start implementing this in your business or even personally for your social selling. So it's quidai.com/immersion. So that's IMMERSION.
Fabulous.
It's
Okay,
free
so
for everybody. Check it out. Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. And we'll put that in the show notes for sure.
Thank you.
My last question is there any question I didn't ask you that I should have?
Um, I think, what is the fourth industrial revolution? Because that's really something that is macro to all of the things that we're talking about. You know, we've heard the industrial revolution. I think in our heads, we've been taught through our schooling that we think of like English coal and locomotives and things like that being the industrial revolution. But industrial revolutions have been the advent of steam and electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Even before that, human to machine, like the cotton gin, moving on for mass production from Henry Ford and moving forward. So today the fourth industrial revolution is happening. The third was our digital revolution in the 60s when we went to computers, ENIAC, IBM, all those early things. So if you understand the history over the past 70 years, we've done more in 70 years than we've done in thousands of years. It's amazing, our technological abilities in the past 70 years. So I feel the fourth industrial revolution is going to further that. And in the next 25 to 30 years, we're going to have 125 years of advancement. So where every year is going to be like 5 years of technology advancement currently. So you need to strap in and get ready. There's a learning curve to this stuff, but you need people that can help you. You need to find out how to use it with your daily lives. Try it out with recipes, try it out for fun, and then try it out for situations that come up, and you'll just be amazed.
So I have to tell you, I tried it. You said for recipes. I went on ChatGPT on my phone and I started to put things that were in my freezer and my cabinet. I'm like, this is the food I have. What should I make tonight? Give me 10 options. And it literally put together a casserole thing that I made, and I made a couple of tweaks and my family loved it. And it was great because I can stare at a full freezer and go, I have no idea what to make. And so Chad helped me. So thank you for bringing that up because that was really fun to do.
Yes, have fun with it. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. So how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, LinkedIn's the best way, of course. I'm Nico Nathan. I love talking about AI in general and the future of our world because of it. So you can reach me on there. Also, just quitai.com. I'm all over it. Touch base with me there, and happy to reach out to you. If you just want to talk about AI, I just want to be your AI guy. Just give me a call.
I love that. I love that. So thank you. This was great. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot of things.
Me too.
And yeah, and I appreciate your time. And for all of our listeners, when you're out and about, don't forget to make your sales social.
Don't miss an episode. Visit socialsaleslink.com/podcast. Leave a review down below. Tell us what you think, what you learned, and what you want to hear from us next. Register for free resources at linkedinlibrary.com. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. Visit our website, socialsaleslink.com, for more information.